Hello everybody, this is Johns Hopkins with Baltimore Heritage, and we're back with another of our 5-Minute Histories videos. And today we're going to talk about the horse you came in on Saloon. I'm down on Thames Street in Fells Point, and it is wonderfully clouded in a number of mysteries. It traces its roots back to 1775 and may be the oldest continuously operating bar in America. It claims that it was Edgar Allan Poe's last stop before he was found in a gutter and taken to Church Home and Hospital where he died. And what about that colorful name anyway? We're going to take a look at all three, but have to start with a quick thanks to everybody who has donated to Baltimore Heritage and everybody who's thinking about donating. Many of you got a letter recently from us asking for a gift, and many of you made a gift. So thank you, thank you. You are making this video and all that we do possible. All right, back to the horse you came in on. So 1775, it was likely started by a sea captain named Forbes, and maybe the oldest continuously operating bar in America. That's hard to verify, but let's take a look. We know that it is not the oldest bar or restaurant in America. That title goes to the White Horse Tavern in Newport, Rhode Island. It was started in 1673, really old. France's Tavern in Manhattan in New York was started in 1672, so a little before our own horse you came in on. It was the site where the Sons of Liberty met to plan the revolution, and is also probably the oldest building in Manhattan, so pretty neat. Neither of those, however, hold a candle to the oldest bar in the world. That goes to Sean's Pub in Ireland that traces its roots to 900 AD, 1100 years old and still serving beer in Ireland. Another complicating fact is a bar in New Orleans called Jean Lafitte's Blacksmith Shop. It claims to be in the oldest building, a bar in the oldest building in America. Its blacksmith shop is started about 1720, but in order to believe that claim, you've got to discount the White Horse Tavern, which is 50 years older, or maybe say that it's a restaurant and not a bar. But back then, places serving liquor and food, who knows what they were called. All right, so that's the complication number one. Complication number two is the continuously operating part of it. That is hard to verify, especially during Prohibition, when bar owners purposefully did not keep records. But the horse you came in on has a pretty good claim to being continuously operating. Maryland, for one, was the only state in the Union not to adopt the local Volstead Act. That's what states were supposed to do to enforce Prohibition at the federal level. We just never got around to doing it. Also, the bar's owner at the time, a gentleman named Romian Bobert, owned another bar also on Boston Street in Canton, and he was arrested during Prohibition for running liquor. So there's a good chance he was doing it here also. So is the horse you came in on Saloon the oldest continuously operating bar in America? My vote is yes. All right, how about the Edgar Allan Poe claim? It claims to be the last stop of Edgar Allan Poe before his death, and there is no evidence whatsoever for that. We know Poe died at Church Home Hospital after being found in a gutter on Lombard Street outside of a public house turned polling place called Gunner's. His death, of course, is a mystery. Was it alcohol poisoning? Was it lead poisoning? Was it rabies? Was it the flu? Was it murder? All of those have been proposed, and I think that whether he stopped here last will have to remain part of that mystery in itself. There is, however, a plaque here that says it was Poe's last stop that hangs above the seating area of the bar. So pretty neat. All right, final thing. What about the name? The colorful retort, forget you and the horse you came in on, or something like that. Where did this name come from? It's complicated by the fact that the owner who gave it that name in 1972, a gentleman named Howard Gerber, gave at least 3 different versions to 3 different reporters at 3 different times. Version number 1, he had said that he liked that phrase, the phrase of the name of the bar, and he said, quote, "I always thought somebody should name a bar after that poor horse." So there's version number one. Version number two is what he told mystery writer Martha Grimes, who, by the way, set her 12th Richard Jury novel, detective story here in Baltimore, and gave it the name, The Horse You Came In On. Here's what he told her. When my partner and I opened this place in 1972, we wanted to give it an English pub feel. We got a list of 100 names of English pubs, and somehow this name always suggested itself. All right, maybe. Third version is that he was working in restaurants in Baltimore and really wanted to own a bar. So he borrowed $5,000 from his mother and his sister. And instead of going to put a down payment on a bar, he went, of course, to Pimlico to bet on the horses. And lo and behold, his horse won the race. He doubled his money and then had the good sense to leave. And he came down here and put $10,000 deposit on this bar, which at that point was called, I think, Al's and Ann's. It was a local watering hole. And the name came from the fact that his horse came in on the money. The horse you came in on allowed him to buy this bar. So who knows which of those three it was? Maybe it was all three of those at the same time. Regardless, this is a fantastic place. So I'm going to wrap up and say one final word. What we do know is that on the very first hour and the very first day it was open, his friend, Gerber's friend, a gentleman named, let me make sure I get his name right, Ken Piaskowski, took $20, rented a horse, found a large black cowboy hat, rode down Thames Street, and rode through the front door of the bar up to the bar to have a drink. It seems that the customers there at the time, nobody paid mind to it much at all. They thought that was a normal thing to do. So I'm going to say thanks so much, and regardless of whether this is the oldest continuously operating bar in America, regardless of whether Edgar Allan Poe made his last stop here, and regardless of where the name came from, it is still a fantastic tavern operating almost 250 years. Thanks, and we'll see you next time.